speaking of next gen consoles, one of the things, so we're huge Spider-Man fans.
Yeah.
And specifically the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man, the Insomniac one.
Yes.
Which, if people know, we like lost our mind when they announced that, and it was Insomniac during E3.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's nuts. And specifically, there's a remastered coming for PlayStation 5.
That's correct.
And as well as the Miles Morales Spider-Man, which we're super excited for. So there's something going on with the Spider-Man stuff that has been absolutely abysmal. And I don't know what you want to talk about first. If you want to talk about the their whole terrible process with like porting it and who gets what and everything like that, or if you want to talk about the stuff around the recasting first. I don't know. What do you want?
Yeah, well, first let's talk about how you actually can get Spider-Man Remastered. They released this like paragraph on the PlayStation blog. I believe it was Insomniac, and it was just explaining all of the different ways you can go about getting, or you can't get, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, because technically I think you have to buy the special edition version of Spider-Man Miles Morales for PlayStation 5.
Right.
It's just, there's no easy way for you to essentially get this game. You might have to rebuy it. I think it might be a standalone purchase, but then it's $70. Yeah. So there's no cheap way to buy this not old, but relatively old game.
Right. But just to clarify, so the non-remastered version is going to be a part of that PS Plus collection or whatever the fuck it is?
Absolutely, yeah. So you're going to be able to play Marvel Spider-Man on your PlayStation 5. It's backwards compatible. You're going to be able to put your disc in as well.
Right, but it's not the remastered version of it.
No. That you're just going to be playing the PS4 version on the PS5. So yeah, I mean, does it look cool? Yeah, I mean, the graphics look insane. Like the things they did with the reflections. Did you see like on the building?
Yeah. I actually Digital Foundry did a full breakdown of the ray tracing tech and everything with that, and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
what they were able to accomplish.
It was an already good-looking game, and they just made it look even better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, to start this topic off, essentially, it's just really hard to get the remastered version of the game for people that already own it. And then it's also like they said the trophies aren't going to transfer. It's a completely separate trophy list, and save data won't transfer either.
Yeah, that's all a mess to me. I think, and I get it's like this is like a full. It's a remaster / port, right?
Yep.
It's not quite a full blown like a studio came in, and like completely overhauled the game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's not quite the original version of it. I get that, but you see a lot of companies, specifically like CD Projekt Red, who's I think the biggest one, of being like, okay, you buy the current gen version of this game, right? You get it for free on the next gen, and I think people are rightfully so about this, pissed off, annoyed, confused, because in my opinion, I get there's like marketing behind it. There's a business side of it. You want to make additional money. If you want your base to stay there, right, and keep those people purchasing your products, especially Insomniac, who's a staple of like that PlayStation platform.
Yep.
Why would PlayStation not come in and be like, okay, you get the free port of it?
Yeah.
It seems to me like a lot of there's going to be a lot of non-first party support for that on the PlayStation side of it. Whereas you see Xbox, it's like they have created their entire ecosystem around that, and access and easy access and streamlined stuff. Whereas you get these confusing, almost like Ubisoft, Activision like things that grant you stuff that you should probably just get for free.
Exactly. It's akin to like on the Xbox side of things, where it would be like, you'll get the Series X update for the game, which makes it perform better. It makes it look better.
Right.
And it's free. And then you got this game where you essentially can't even pay to just upgrade, like a $14, upgrade fee or something. You have to purchase the game entirely. So.
Right. Yeah. Which now with the new price points of like $70 price point or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Which most of the time, to clarify, I don't think is that big of a deal. I think if it's just going to be a flat $70 price point for a lot of these next gen games, I have a problem, because I think you should see scaled pricing.
Absolutely.
Like a game like Spider-Man, like I think that's a $60 game. I think that's a perfectly reasonable $60 game.
Mm-hmm.
I think a game like Cyberpunk, I would pay $120 for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Whereas I think about a game like I don't know, The Order, that's like a $20 game. Like, let's be honest
No,
here.
you're absolutely right. And I think that there should also
Like,
be scaling from physical to digital. I think digital games should be priced cheaper.
I absolutely agree with you, because you take the the production out of it, shipping,
Yep.
all of that other stuff.
This is a topic for a whole nother day. I think we could talk about
Yeah.
that specifically for a very long time.
Yeah, I agree. But it again goes back to the point that it's bad, that it's so confusing for this, and there needs to be like somebody at Sony needs to make a decision, or at PlayStation needs to make a decision to be like, this is our process for porting, for getting the next gen versions of the game.
Absolutely.
And we haven't seen that yet.
Absolutely. And you know what? You said that was bad. How about we talk about something that's even worse? The next part of this story.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Peter Parker for the Spider-Man game, for the remaster of it on PlayStation 5, has been recasted. So I forget the actors' names. I know the voice actor is Yuri Lowenthal, right?
Yeah,
for Peter Parker.
Yeah, so the voice actor is Yuri Lowenthal, and the former model for Peter Parker's face was a man by the name of John Bubniak.
Mm-hmm.
And the new one, his name is Ben Jordan.
Yeah, so he was recasted, right? So the studio and the director's thought process behind it was that they wanted a better facial match, performance match to Yuri's voice.
Yep.
So they completely recasted and changed the model of Peter Parker for PlayStation 5 Remaster. And now people are upset because, they're like, oh, I want this original guy. I came to love him. Whatever it is. That's why would you go and change all this? I think the studio did a fine job of explaining it. I don't have an issue with it, really. I get, especially with new technology, the facial capture, trying to make it look the animation look appropriate and not weird or off. Mm-hmm. I get that, right? I understand that. But now you have people that are completely attacking the studio and the director. And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, this is the first time we've really seen this with a big AAA game, where they take a character model of the main character of the game and completely change it. You might see it with a remaster of a PS3 game to a PS4 game where they update the face model. This gen, PS4, Xbox One, you don't really see that. You don't see the main character's face change. But like you said, I think that Insomniac did a great job of explaining the whole thing. Yuri Lowenthal is a phenomenal voice actor. He's voiced some of our favorite characters of all time. He's even, I think, voiced Spider-Man in other things. I don't think he's only voiced him for the game. That could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure he has. So when you see their explanation, like you said, the face movement wasn't right with John Bubniak's face, and they found someone that looked a little more like Yuri or had the same jaw structure as Yuri, in order to make it look right, make it look natural. And is it weird? Kinda, because imagine this was a movie franchise and they just recast the character. It's like Michael Keaton's Batman, just getting recast by George Clooney. It's weird. It's strange, but at the same time, this is a character that you see him wearing a mask for the most part of the game. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of the most emotional moments in the game, he's unmasked for sure.
Right.
I just think that the argument that it's a complete travesty is just blown out of proportion. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
And then you have the death threats. And to me, I never, ever, ever, ever will understand people that either direct message or tweet at creators or actors or whatever it is, somebody who's in the entertainment sphere, for changing or doing something in their universe, right, or artistically, that they don't agree with.
Yeah.
And then you send them death threats. First of all, why don't you crawl out of your basement, okay, and take a look around you? It's not the end of the world. Nothing in the entertainment sphere, movies, video games, or whatever, that creatively happens, right, is ever worth sending a death threat to somebody. You look at The Last of Us Part 2. And oh my God, the freaking controversy around that, and like these people that poured their heart into it, and then you send them death threats. Same thing with this. Like, really, that is your response.
Yeah.
Is that you're so mad, right? And you're entitled to your own opinion, but you're so mad that you're going to send somebody a death threat and say, you deserve to die, or I'm going to kill you, or whatever it is, because I don't like you doing this thing in your piece of art.
Yes.
Get a fucking grip.
And I got to point out, because someone's going to go back and find clips of us saying, go kill yourself. Like, that's completely different than actually messaging the person and saying, I'm going to kill you and your family. I'm going to slit your throat. Like, crazy shit like that. Right. Completely baseless versus, you're actually messaging the person saying you're going to do these things to them.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I don't get it. I will never get it. I will never understand it. The only thing that I can think of with these kind of things is it's a person that does not see the internet as real. And you kind of see that a lot with people like that, where they think they can make comments and they can say whatever they want on the internet. And then they don't see it as like, you're actually talking to somebody. There's someone on the other end. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the only explanation I have, is it's just someone that doesn't quite understand the internet and the realness of it. So.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, anything else with that?
Yeah. I did want to point out something else. The former model, John Bubniak, as we've said before.
Yeah.
On Twitter, he expressed his sadness for being recast. He tweeted out with emojis, Spider-Man forever, essentially is what he said. And then he followed that tweet up with, you will all forever be in my heart. So clearly this character meant a lot to John. But it's,
yeah, absolutely.
But it's worth also, and I don't want to discredit what he's done for the character, but all he did was provide the likeness for the character. It's not like he actually did any acting or, mocap for the character. So while it was probably awesome that, they based it off of his likeness, I don't really think it's that big of a deal again.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him.
And at the end of the day, I mean, it's not his intellectual property. It's not his piece of art.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's the director and the studios. So
yeah,
it's their decision.
Well,
and I think again, their explanation is totally valid.
Yeah. And to top it all off, this kind of is like the bow on top of the present here. Ben Jordan, the new face model for Peter Parker, he made an announcement post on his Instagram where it was, a picture of Peter Parker or whatever and him. And he was basically saying, I am the new Spider-Man. And the top comment on his announcement post with 573 likes says, sorry, but you're definitely not my PS4 Spider-Man. And first of all, you're right. He's not your PS4 Spider-Man. He's your PS5 Spider-Man. So there's that.
Yeah.
But it's sad that he doesn't even get to enjoy this moment as the new Spider-Man. So I feel bad for both John and Ben. They both kind of got cucked in this situation. So, and Brian, I don't know how to say his last name. Brian Itahar, the director.
Intihar, yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad for him for the death threats as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Completely baseless. But yeah, that's Spider-Man for you. Hey, did you know this video is actually part of a larger podcast? Check out our latest episode of Hapticast by clicking here.